It is through the being that we think, that we feel. Everything is experienced through being. You see? But the being is not that which is throwing forth. Are you understanding me? For example, you see a tree. Okay? T-R-E-E. In case my accent said 3. And so there's the tree here. And it's very much alive. But look at the tree. And really look as if you're seeing it for the first time. What do you see? You begin to feel its energy, don't you? It's alive. It's energy. So the tree itself, despite its appearance, is something that's alive. That's what making it look like a tree. You see? You're looking deeper. And so when we look at anything, it begins to disappear from its usual conception. It doesn't change optically, visually it doesn't change, but we begin to see more. When you see people, you think you're looking at bodies, but inside you're saying, I like this person, I don't like this person, this is better, this is... But what is it that you're seeing? Energy. The greater the energy that a person has, the more sincere and authentic and loving they are, the more beautiful they appear to you. They could have one eye in the middle of their forehead. If they're very beautiful in their love and their giving, you begin to see a beauty beneath the appearance. It is that which is taking you deeper. Do you understand? So this is what it means, to see what is as it actually is. Because there are many, many layers that we do not see. And these layers are never stop until we reach the source. You see? And when you reach the source, it's known as love. Because everything melts and becomes one. Some people call it God. You see? Everything melts and becomes one. And you will begin to see that everything that you experience is an appearance of this source. Just is. And the wonderful thing about being a human being is that the human resists and the being just is. The being is a presence. It's energy. And all the time the human doesn't know it. It goes around trying to get that energy, but it does it through money, power, financial security, domestic security, relationship. There's nothing wrong with these things, of course. But it does it on the surface. But what it really wants is that feeling inside that says, I am. You see? The human always says, I'm missing something. There's something wrong with me. I don't feel good enough no matter what I do. There's always something nagging there, as if I'm missing something. The human is always going like that. When it touches being, it feels complete. How does it touch being? It's called love. You see, you touch being every time you forget the human. And paradoxically, when the human forgets itself, it becomes one with being. The human is just an appearance. You see? And that's what is called integration, the human being. The being is. For example, many teachers say, okay, to students, surrender. Sounds very good, doesn't it? But how come nobody is able to surrender? Have you ever known anybody who could surrender? I've never known anyone, and I've been doing this for many years. Because you can't surrender. Because your being is already surrendered. The moment I sat on this chair, I surrendered to the chair. When I eat food, I surrender to the food. And the food gets chewed, assimilated, digested, and finally eliminated. You see? I surrender automatically. I surrender whenever I hear a beautiful piece of music and I go with it. It's beautiful. I surrender to it. I surrender when I make love. I surrender when I feel love. I surrender when I read a book I enjoy so much. So what is surrender then? It is love, isn't it? It is the being itself. It is the nature of being. So you don't need to surrender. You don't need to let go. You don't need to forgive. You don't need to accept. You just need to be who you are. You see? It's really very, very simple. And that means that you do not try anything. Allow. And how do you allow, you might say, because that is in the domain of the being. By seeing that the human has no power to do anything. Everything that is done through you is done by love. Or by conditioning, which we call ego. But the ego always leads to its own doom, to its own destruction. So when we say things are happening wrong, oh gosh, everything seems to be going wrong. Because you made your conclusions, your decisions, your actions based on what you thought was some control, some need to change something, some need to improve something. You do not realize that when you go into your being, understand the being itself, the being will take you there effortlessly. You know, many times when I used to teach A Course in Miracles, and it came to me at a time when I didn't decide to teach it. It just happened when my wife left me and took all the money. And I was left penniless, and then all of a sudden the Course in Miracles book fell on my lap. It was on the shelf, and I leaned back, fell on my lap, and it opened up on page 4 in the teacher's manual, and it says, when the teacher is ready, the students will appear. And that was, oh, there's a message right there, because I love the Course, because it is the same teaching like Ramana Maharshi, except the words differ, but the teaching is the same. And since it was, most people were interested in the Course in Miracles, then it was a natural thing just to start talking about it. So anyway, so did I do it? No. It was a message from being, you see. But what happened was, I was still, the human was still taking control. So when I was holding the classes, I would write scripts. And sometimes I would read from them, you know, and I would plan it all and write it all, and what I should say or not say in class. And it was all pre-planned. Until slowly, as I began to look more at what is, I began to relax more and more and more. And then I felt this being come alive. You don't have to plan it. You don't have to write word for word what to say. Just let it come. Just let it flow out. Just be the love you are. You see? And as you begin to relax, things happen. The being takes over. One of the things I used to love is to look at great actors who move you, either to laughter or to tears, or great paintings, or music composers, or great artists. And you know what made them great? They didn't do it. It came through their being. You see? We call it channeled, we call it aligned, it doesn't matter. These are just words. When you resort to being, when you relax into your being, the love that you are expresses as the love of the action that you love. You see? It comes out and it surfaces as that motion, as that action. You see? Another thing that happens is, to the extent that you allow being to take over, in other words, you get rid of the doer, okay? The doer is out of the way. There's no human doing. There's only being. You see? The moment you get out of then automatically the being takes over your life. It really takes over your life completely. In every facet of it. This is something that I cannot prove it, nobody can prove it. But you'll begin to see it in your life, that when you begin to move with being, the being will take over. And it will guide you. So when we talk about being, it looks like I'm talking about someone or something. I'm talking about being, to be. You know, like Shakespeare's Hamlet, to be or not to be, that is the question. Being is not, you cannot try to be. How many times it's a beautiful sunny day, you're close to the water, you have no worries, you have no concerns, you lie back on your deck chair, whatever, you sun yourself, it's just perfect temperature, and you feel so good. What do you think that feeling good is? It is being.